So I saw Toy Story 5 last week, and upon reflecting on it, here are my quick thoughts. I firstly really liked the tech versus toys concept. I think that fit very well with what we currently have in 2026. It's a real issue, so some very realistic storytelling, which I applaud. I also really liked how Jessie took the lead in this movie because she was a character I always enjoyed, but she got completely sidelined in Toy Story 4, but she was great in Toy Stories 2 and 3. Then I also really like the animation. As always, Toy Story has great animation, and Toy Story 5 is no different. I also really like the humor in this movie. Again, Toy Story always has had great humor. Maybe not the most memorable in Toy Story 5, but better humor than Toy Story 4. And yeah, and we also got introduced to some side characters who were pretty fun to be with. And we got a new kid, who, yeah, she was also someone you could sympathize with, which is, yeah, which was great. And I actually sympathized with her more than I sympathized with Bonnie. But anyway, that leads us to the flaws. I still wasn't the biggest fan of Bonnie. She's a bit hard to sympathize with compared to Andy in the first movie. Like, she can come across as a bit unlikable. I get what they're trying to do, making her socially awkward, but just that her actions are pretty, like, leave it's pretty distasteful what she does in the movie. I also wasn't the big fan of how, again, much like Toy Story 4, they completely sidelined the other toys, with the exception of Jessie and Woody and, but to some extent, Buzz. So that was so they've got no development since Toy Story 3, which isn't ideal. And uh, I also thought that the villain was very similar to the Inside Out 2 villain, like Anxiety and Lilypad. They were very similar with like very similar goals. So it felt a bit redundant at times. The movie was so similar to Inside Out 2, but I also really liked Inside Out 2, so it's not a problem. It's just it felt like it was copying Inside Out 2 a lot. But overall, I thought it was a good movie. It definitely exceeded my expectations. Maybe not the most memorable movie, and definitely very flawed movie, but it was certainly a lot better than Toy Story 4. And but maybe not, but still not as good as the first three Toy Story movies. That was just Pixar in its golden era. So yeah, I give the movie an 8.1 out of 10.